To bring in veteran Democratic strategist Steve McMahon, founding partner at Purple Strategy. Steve, it's good to have you with us as well.
Good to be here. Thank you.
We'll get to policy in a moment. I'm first interested if you agree, or if you think that the framework Clinton gave last night is an effective response to the notion that being a career politician is a negative.
I think so. I mean, obviously change is a theme in this campaign. It's a theme Donald Trump is driving quite hard, and it's something that a lot of Democrats were interested in the primaries. You can see that in the results for Bernie Sanders. So I think telling the story about how Hillary Clinton is actually not just the establishment that's been around for 25 years, but actually is somebody who's been on the forefront of many positive changes that have made a difference in people's lives is an important story. I also think what the president or former president did last night in terms of humanizing Hillary Clinton and telling a story, as John said, to make her more of a three-dimensional person, somebody who had a life before politics, who has a family she cares deeply about, and who does these things not because of some political calculation, but because she genuinely cares. And she's been doing it for a long, long time without any fanfare or getting any credit, and it's an important story to tell.
John, contrast the degree to which the RNC and now the DNC are making an attempt to go after the middle. Is this about that, or is it about deepening the base?
Well,
John?
I think for Hillary Clinton, it is about going after the middle more than it is for Donald Trump. And on that change desire that you mentioned, Hillary Clinton's not going to get the people who want to bulldoze Washington. That's the force, the anger behind Donald Trump's message. Blow it up, tear it up. Hillary Clinton is more tempered, but she's counting on that appealing to college-educated white voters, suburban voters, somewhat more affluent voters, and we'll see whether she can pull that off.
Steve, is it going to be a challenge for her to talk about the economy? Because a lot of folks see her as a continuation to Obama's presidency, which has seen some strong progress when it comes to jobs and overall economic growth, and yet there's so much discontent and frustration out there about wages and the fact that it has been so unequal. So how does she do that?
Well, I mean, I think this is a challenge that Barack Obama faced in 2012 because you had a lot of the same dynamics at play. There were a number of months of pretty strong job growth. The stock market had been doing quite well. The economy was recovering and improving and getting stronger every day. But there were a lot of people who, frankly, didn't feel it. There were a lot of people who once had manufacturing jobs that are no longer here in this country, and they're frustrated. And so Hillary Clinton does have to kind of walk that line. And I think the message that she'll be coming forward with is a message that the economy is working pretty well for a lot of people, for a lot of folks who watch these programs, but it's not working as well for many of the middle class, and we need to do a little better to strengthen the middle class and to make the economy work for everybody. I think that's the argument she has to make, notwithstanding the fact that the economy, does seem to be pretty strong and getting stronger at the top line. There are people who feel differently, and she's got to speak to those folks as well.
Steve, how dangerous is this flip-flopping that's going on trade? The Journal, the lead editorial in the Journal today is very critical. When people worry about the trustworthiness of a career politician, isn't that writ large in the way in which she's gone from side to side on whether the trade policies were correct, even trade policies that she was involved in negotiating? It's very disconcerting once you get into the detail.
Well, it's difficult to explain, but the fact of the matter is, and frankly, I understand why it is, but when you're part of an administration, the administration drives the trade policy and the trade deals, and you're sort of expected to toe the line. I think when Hillary Clinton sort of left the administration, looked more closely at the trade deal that she had been part of negotiating, and looked at some of the things that Senator Sanders was pointing out, she had a different view. I mean, she's going to be a different president than Barack Obama. She's going to place different emphasis on different aspects of trade. I mean, it's a complicated issue. It's a policy that's obviously divided the Democratic Party. There are many Democrats who supported it, who voted for it. The president obviously supports it. So it's not an easy situation for her to navigate. But I think she probably, for the sake of unifying the party and moving forward, I think she landed in a pretty good place.
Steve, appreciate your time. Always good to see you. Steve McMahon, John Harwood, of course, joining us from